In today's video, I want to go over a major developer expecting numerous big and small game announcements in 2020, possibly games on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. These announcements should be starting early in the year. Of course, we're already in 2020, so early this year. Resident Evil 3 Remake's PS4 file size has been hinted at. Blasphemous, a great downloadable title, is going to be getting free DLC soon, so that's always nice. First up, one of my favorite development studios, and I think a lot of you guys are on board with that, Platinum Games is expecting to announce numerous big and small titles in 2020 starting early in the year. Kenichi Saito, Platinum Games president, spoke a little bit with Inside Games. I want to read everything that he and Atsushi Inaba said about Platinum Games going forward. He noted, "Happy New Year to you all. Looking back at 2019, we released Astral Chain as a completely original new action game, the first in 6 years since The Wonderful 101. Of course, Astral Chain was a Nintendo Switch exclusive, but that game was received really well, and I would love to see it on PS4, but that probably won't happen, but goes to show how high quality of a studio Platinum is." He continued by saying, "Furthermore, I believe the 2017 release Nier Automata surpassing 4 million in worldwide shipments and digital sales was also a big topic. This was all possible thanks to support from all the fans, and I'd like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude." Last year, we said that 2019 would be a year where the curtain rises for a new stage for Platinum Games. We're a bit late on that, but I believe we'll have several big announcements to deliver early in the new year, so please look forward to that. That's a promise I'll definitely keep, and he followed that up with a couple of laughs. He also noted this year is the year the Tokyo Olympics will be held. I believe everyone around the world will be watching Japan. As a game studio representing Japan this year, we here at Platinum Games are looking to go all out to get attention from fans around the world and bring smiles to everyone. So that is a hefty statement, talking about Platinum Games and then comparing it to the Tokyo Olympics and how that relates to them bringing out games. I mean, the Olympics are a pretty big deal, and if they're just said in the same sentence, then hey, the altitude of expectations that Kenichi Sato has for Platinum Games in 2020 has to be pretty high. We already know a couple of games that are coming out. Babylon's Fall for PlayStation 4 and PC. We know Bayonetta 3 will be a Nintendo Switch title, but those are games we already know about. On top of that, I think the world is waiting for another Nier title. He noted Nier Automata surpassed 4 million in worldwide shipments and digital sales. That's a big deal. That game highly surpassed expectations, given the reception of the first game was a little bit lukewarm. I personally really enjoyed it, but I did not think Automata was gonna do 4 million worldwide. That is a very impressive number, and now the question remains, is there a market to remake the first game? I absolutely think there is. And is there a market for more Nier titles? I absolutely think so. An Automata 2 or whatever, a new Nier title, that would be something I would be all over. Atsushi Inaba, representative studio, had also spoke a little bit, and he noted, "In the games industry where each year is challenging, I'm immensely grateful to head into yet another year with Platinum Games. Starting early on in the year, I believe we'll continue to roll out various announcements, big and small, throughout the year. The company, as well as me personally, will continue taking on new challenges, and I want to give it everything we've got." So maybe you'll see this as a lot of PR fluff talk, but honestly, the loftiness that they're saying that this is going to be a major year, and 2019 was going to be a relatively big year. We thought that Babylon's Fall initially was going to be coming in 2019. That will be a major 2020 game. Hopefully it'll be out by the end of the year, but we are going to get more info in the summer, and that would lead me to think that the game would be coming out in the fall. If it's delayed until 2021, that would be a pretty big bummer, but I imagine that Platinum Games has got a lot of other projects in the works. Platinum Games for a long time was a studio that would just focus on maybe 1 or 2 games at a time. Now they've really expanded, and they are working on a variety of different games. I remember when they were just putting out games like Bayonetta and Vanquish, and those games were phenomenal, but now they're working on some major titles, whether it be new IPs like Astral Chain, Bayonetta 3. I bet you they've got another Nier title working on in the background. And of course, Babylon's Fall is a pretty major title, and by the way, Babylon's Fall being released in conjunction with Square Enix, the publisher of the Nier games, makes a lot of sense that Platinum Games and the Square Enix relationship, it continues going forward, because I think that's a relationship that is doing both partners wonders. It's giving Square Enix the opportunity to publish some really high quality titles, and Platinum Games is able to enhance these games. I mean, Nier Automata was so great from a gameplay standpoint, and if they didn't have Platinum Games working on it, that game would not have been as good as it was if it was done by an in-house Square Enix studio. I really believe that. And I think Platinum Games, alongside with a couple of other developers from Software, Capcom, they're doing really well heading into 2020. Hopefully they can keep that momentum rolling, and it looks like they've got a lot of major announcements. I want to hear about a PlayStation 5 game done by them, because we know they're working on Nintendo Switch games, they're working on PlayStation 4 games, they're working on stuff on PC, but how about a brand new game that's done for next generation? I think there's a lot of potential in that. But maybe they want to be a little bit more far along with their next generation project so that they can avoid a disaster like what happened with Scalebound, a game that was announced prior to the release of the Xbox One, and then of course never came to fruition and was ultimately cancelled, so that was a little bit of a bummer. That was really the only misstep Platinum Games had this generation. Outside of that, it has been absolute gangbusters from the Switch releases, PS4 releases, and everything in between has been rather compelling. Alright, moving on from that, the Resident Evil 3 Remake is due out relatively soon, and there is now a rumbling of the file size for the Xbox One version in particular, and that has been revealed through the Xbox Marketplace, giving us a rough idea of how much the PlayStation 4 edition will weigh in. Both versions of the game will probably be around the same, and the Resident Evil 3 Remake will probably be around 43 gigabytes, as the Xbox One listing was suggested at 43.01 gigabytes. However, that's actually a combination of two separate games. You've got Resident Evil 3, which looks to be 21.93 gigabytes, and Resident Evil Resistance, which is going to be an additional 20.47 gigabytes. That is, of course, the accompanying multiplayer-centric spin-off. Really cool of them to do Resident Evil 3 and Resident Evil Resistance in one package. I think they could have absolutely gotten away with releasing Resident Evil 3 as a separate game and then doing Resistance as a separate game. However, I think for the beneficial factor of Resistance being a game that people will inherently be skeptical about just because it's not the Resident Evil game we're used to, and it is a multiplayer-focused game, so there needs to be a community attached to it. Bundling it with Resident Evil 3 pretty much guarantees that it's going to have a sizable community, at least for the short term. Long term is ultimately going to depend on how the game itself turns out. So from a consumer standpoint, it's great because you're getting two experiences. Hey, we just paid $60 for the Resident Evil 2 remake last year, and now this year we're getting Resident Evil 3 and Resistance on top of that. Even if Resistance isn't great, Resident Evil 3 is almost guaranteed to be awesome. So throwing Resistance on top of that, that is a great addition, and I'm really happy Capcom is going that route. Very excited for Resident Evil 3, and when I talk about the big games coming in early 2020, this is one that I always forget to mention. Maybe because we just played Resident Evil 2, but hey, that should make me more excited. Resident Evil 2 was phenomenal, and Resident Evil 3 will be coming out April 3rd, 2020. Let's hope for no delays, because I think getting this game out 6 to 7 months prior to the release of the PlayStation 5 and next Xbox would be beneficial to everyone involved, but nonetheless, 43 gigabytes looks to be the install for that, 21.93 for RE3, and then 20.47 for RE Resistance. Lastly, I do want to give you guys a heads up that Blasphemous will soon be receiving free DLC. 2020 barely just started, but the Game Kitchen has already given us reason to be excited about the new year with free DLC for Blasphemous. Now, if you guys are unaware of what Blasphemous is, it's a very challenging downloadable title that I really enjoyed. If you guys have yet to check out Blasphemous, I would highly recommend to add that to your wishlist, or at least look into it. It was a game that was received pretty well as well. A 77 on Metacritic, and it's noted to be a punishing action platformer that combines the fast-paced, skilled combat of a hack-and-slash game with a deep and evocative narrative core delivered through an exploration of a huge universe comprised of non-linear levels. Game definitely has an old-school look to it, but aesthetically it is very pleasing. Has seen some comparisons to Souls games, a little bit of Metroidvania in there as well. Goes for $24.99. I'm sure at this point it has gone on sale. It's only been a couple of months since release, so it's not been a long time. But the Blasphemous Twitter account did note, a new year has done. Your duty not done. Prepare to return in free DLC Pendant 1. So what does all this mean? Will the Pendant 1 step into a mirror world that is even more twisted than the one where he actually resides? Will the Blasphemous DLC be nothing more than a challenge mode? Who knows exactly what the DLC will be, but it is free DLC, and whenever a game, especially one that is more of a budget title and a budget release, gets free DLC, that is something that's going to be completely up my alley, and I always like to give that a mention. Reminds me a lot of how Dead Cells was handled, and Dead Cells was a phenomenal game, but they rolled out a lot of DLC. The Rise of Giant free update was awesome, and if they do something similar for Blasphemous, that would be great for everyone involved and would entice gamers to pick up the game, especially if they didn't when the game did come out, especially considering it did release during that fall season where there were a lot of major games surrounding it. So now might be a good time when things are a little bit quieter, at least in January, and then things will pick back up in February, March, April, and it is an absolute snowstorm after that in terms of big game releases. And that's going to conclude this video. Again, Platinum Games is expecting numerous big and small announcements in 2020 starting early in the year. Let us know, what games would you like to see be revealed? I know Nier 1 being remade is something a lot of people would be all over. Another Nier title would be really cool. If we could get the announcement of a new Nier game and a Nier remaster at the same time, that would be tremendous. And Platinum Games, of course, has a plethora of other games they could do. Hey, how about Vanquish 2? Am I going to be the only one beating the drum for that? There's a lot of possibilities in Platinum Games. I'm excited to see how their 2020 pans out. The Resident Evil 3 Remake, 43.10 gigabytes, 21.93 for RE3, 20.47 for Resident Evil Resistance, and Blasphemous will be getting some free DLC very, very soon. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.